Goal! What a goal! McWilliams! He's done it! He's done it! The Michigan goal in the first period! Header for McWilliams!
Run! Pelfy scores! Pelfy! It's it! And welcome to episode 2 of the Bullspittin' with Clarky podcast. My name is always Derik Clark. I will always refer to this podcast as Bullspittin' with Derik Clark or with Clarky. I have been called multiple times those words, but into it we go. It is episode 2 of this beloved podcast. Can't believe I'm even recording a second one. Coming out on a Monday. I'm recording this on a Sunday night. It's currently 10:51 p.m. Eastern. Here on Sunday, we might touch into the morning hours if I really feel like recording for longer than an hour. These few first episodes, like I said, will probably be short and simple, 30 minutes or more. So welcome back to Bullspittin' with Clarky, and man, do I have a unique story to tell you. I thought I'd come on this podcast and tell you, man, we got 2 winners, we got 2 sweeps in the NHL and in the NBA when it comes to the respective championships, but instead it's completely a different story. It is completely different because the NHL and NBA championships are both heading in to a Game 5 scenario. Now, for the NBA, the Mavericks came out of nowhere. As a Mavericks fan, I was like, we're going to get swept. It's over. It's whatever. And it quickly did not become that. It quickly became, holy moly, Luka Doncic must have slapped everyone in the face, and now we are 2 wins away from tying this thing. And it's an impossible task to some, but Lucas said it ain't over till it's over. And man, a 122-84 win for the Mavs over the Celtics in Game 4, propelled to a Game 5, which that will be today on Monday when you guys get this. So it shall be fun. Now, on the other hand, we jump over to the NHL, a completely different, unique guideline, storyline scenario. A 3-0, well, similarities, I should say, as well. A 3-0 lead for the Florida Panthers, a team looking for their first cup, while the Edmonton Oilers haven't won it in over 30 years. So 2 teams looking to win it for the first time in 30 years. For the Florida Panthers, first time ever, it would be the Oilers' 5th cup. Fifth cup. So it is different scenarios. The Oilers, who have only scored no more than 2 goals in the prior 3 games, came out of nowhere on home ice in Game 4 and won 8-1, and will head back to Sunrise, Florida, the suburbs of good old Miami, near Fort Lauderdale, and play the Panthers in Florida in Game 5. So the Mavs are heading back to Boston, and the Oilers are heading back to Florida to face another elimination game scenario. Whew. What a unique game for us. I just have to say, an 8-1 win for the Oilers, a 122-84 win for the Mavericks. You're talking about blowouts here. These are 2 teams that both faced major blowouts in both respective series, but somehow, in some way, now people said online, this is just rigged for the bookies because they want to make more money. I don't know how that works for bookies, but I also see that people said the league want to make more money with the streaming of the games. I don't know how you rig an NHL game. I could see how you could theoretically rig an NBA game, but an NHL game and an NBA game both, you could theoretically rig them, yes, but that's like some 1930s crap with the freaking White Sox when they actually did it in the World Series. Like, there's no way they're actually rigged. But then again, we don't know what those bookies are capable of over at all those bookie respective betting services. So we have no idea. But it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. So my respective thoughts, man, I don't know. It seems as though the Mavs and the Oilers kind of respectively said, okay, guys, we're down 3-0. Let's just go out there. Let's play. And I think they both did that pretty respectively well. They said, okay, let's go out there. Let's play some basketball. Let's play some hockey. Let's go out there. Let's show them. You know, they might be 1 loss away from being swept and losing a chance to raise a glory of a trophy, but that's only 1 loss. Like, that's 1 loss. We can afford to win. Let's win. We took the 3 L's we can afford to lose. Let's not take any more. And I think, respectively, they both did pretty well, and they both forced a Game 5 in both respective series. So the Mavs and Celtics play Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and the Oilers and the Panthers play 8 p.m. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, both on ABC. And who will force a Game 6, and who will be, unfortunately, will both be able to force a Game 6? Will one force a Game 6 and one not be able to continue playing, or will both not be able to continue to be playing? We'll see what happens on Monday and Tuesday night, shall we? More news in the sports world. This one's actually just now breaking. Today is Father's Day as I'm recording this, so happy belated Father's Day to all them fathers out there. And a unique story just popped up on my phone. I got this multiple sources on X, formerly known as Twitter. Today, the MLB for Father's Day, they're wearing blue-themed hats. They do pink for Mother's Day and blue for Father's Day. And for some reason, it seems as though the Astros, I thought it was every team in the NBA when I first read this, but I guess it is just the Astros. The Astros chose to use Houston blue on their hats because it's hats, and then they use armbands, and I think they have cleats, and I think I'm trying to think. They have hats. I think it's even on their helmet logo as well. So I believe it's just the Houston Astros. You can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong here, but all the teams wore blue, but I believe it was the Houston Astros who chose to wear Houston blue. For the people that don't know, Houston blue, that color, that shade of blue, is owned by the Tennessee Titans, formerly known as the Houston Oilers, who wore that color. So the former Houston Oilers, now the Tennessee Titans, they have officially slapped a lawsuit onto the Houston Astros for the use of the color in the city of Houston. For the people that don't know, this is one of the genuine reasons why the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans are such rivalries. It's not just the fact that the Tennessee Titans, formerly known as the Oilers, left Houston and went to Nashville, Tennessee. It's not that. It's also the fact that they took the naming or the owning rights of the color Houston blue. That blue is owned by, is used by the city, was made in the city of Houston, hence the name Houston blue. So they took that color with them. They took the owning rights to that color. And last NFL season, they even wore their Houston Oilers throwback, and they even played the Texans wearing it. And the Texans beat them. And a lot of people, they said, okay, Texans just beat the Titans, wearing the Houston Oilers blue, give us that color. And the owner of the Titans said no. The owning group says, no, this is our color. So it's a very big rivalry thing with that. And it's not just the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. It is literally the Tennessee Titans versus the city of Houston, Texas. Houston University, their baseball team, wore Houston blue on a Houston City night. They were sued. The University of Houston was sued by the Tennessee Titans. This was months ago. That was years ago. Months ago, Houston University football released that they were going to wear Houston blue in a Houston special night uniform for the University of Houston for their football program. They got, they get a cease and desist letter from the Tennessee Titans, and they basically said, we don't care, in their tweet, and they tweeted out and posted all over social media, we don't care, and they will wear the shade of blue anyway. They don't care about the cease and desist letter from the Tennessee Titans. So, I mean, literally, the city of Houston is in a big battle with the Tennessee Titans. So, yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. That's been on for years with that shade of blue. And that's why, if people haven't seen the Texans' new release of uniforms, they have a new special jersey. They have 4 jerseys. They have a home, away, a red alternate, and then they have a Houston City alternate, which they wear, I believe, for 1 or 2 games. And they actually got a shade of blue, 1 shade less lighter than Houston blue, so they don't get sued by the Tennessee Titans. But also a big, middle finger to Tennessee Titans of, you can't sue us because this is our color. This is us showing that we deserve this light shade of blue. It's a whole thing. As a Texans fan, I hate the Titans because it's a rival and because they left Houston, but also because of this color thing. to me, I don't live in Houston, obviously, so I can't really say much, but there are literal people in Houston that can tell you that color is literally belong to the city. I mean, that color is, painted everywhere. It's very bright blue and everything else. So it's a very unique storyline with that shade of blue. It's called Houston Blue. There's another name for it. It's like official name is a different name, but then it's like some name is it's like the dinosaurs or whatever. Like the scientists do that weird naming crap. That's the same way with paints and colors and all that fun stuff. So that's the storyline there. We'll ship out of the weird color debate and we'll move on. Let's talk about some race car action. The 24 Hours of Le Mans was overall won by Team Ferrari. For the people that don't know about the 24 Hours of Le Mans, that's the World Endurance Championship race. It's a 24-hour race in France. It was overall won by Team Ferrari. I don't know much about the cars. It's kind of like IMSA here in the States. There's like LMPs. There's LMP2 and LMP3. There's also like a Pro Am class. There's like 5-6 classes of cars that run at once. You're your overall winner, the one who crosses the finish line first after the 24 hours out of all the series wins the overall, and then you have the respective series of themselves. You can win your series and, the overall in general, and then you have the fastest lap after the 24 hours. You have the everything else. So it's very interesting. Of course, Ferrari wins. They were battling Porsche there, but a unique story comes out of that. They had an over 3 hour, no joke, in pouring down rain at like 1 a.m. in the morning. Europe doesn't call it they call it a caution, but they, instead of calling it a pace car, they call it, over there it's called a safety car. So the safety car, I'll just keep it over for the Europeans, I'll use the word safety car. The safety car came out, and so for 3.5 hours, or just over 3 hours, they were under 2-3 a.m. in the morning, they're under a safety car, because I believe I saw some reports saying there's anywhere from 4 to 6, possibly 8 inches of rain on the track. I don't know how serious those reports are. I don't know if anybody knows. Say in the comments below, but man, it was apparently a lot of rain. I saw some indoor, when I was, last night, it was like midnight, and a lot of those teams have dash cams on the cars, and you can just watch them race, and you can just see how slow they are. I know that there, at one point, a lot of teams came in and pitted and switched drivers because it was such a long delay. But shout out to Team Ferrari and all the people over there, and the 3 drivers. You have to have 3 drivers race this. It's a big serious endurance race, and so multiple drivers involved in driving the car, and multiple people involved changing the tires and working on the cars. It's like if F1 did 6 classes at once. There's a lot of different things going on. So shout out to Team Ferrari. Shout out to the drivers who won that in the overall for Team Ferrari. Shout out to all the winners in the different classes of the 24 Hours of Le Mans and all that fun stuff. Out of the 24 Hours of Le Mans, thought I would bring it up. We shall jump in to NASCAR itself. The NASCAR Cup Series race just ended literally about 20 minutes ago, and Ryan Blaney, the current NASCAR Series champion, won back in 2023. He's current reigning champion, wins at Iowa Speedway, the first Cup Series race ever at Iowa Speedway. He's now won a race at Iowa Speedway in all 3 classes. He won it in the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and now the Cup Series. All 3 major, the top 3 major series in NASCAR. So Ryan Blaney wins. To be honest, as someone who watched, I didn't see the green flag drop, and I probably missed about 20 to 30 laps in total from the start. From someone who basically watched from the start to the end, it was a very okay race. The big tire problem, for people that don't watch NASCAR, the tires aren't supposed to pop every few laps, and a lot of drivers blowing left or right fronts. It was mostly front tires. I don't think a rear even blew, but I'd say about 8 to 10 drivers blew tires. Now, they were talking because it was the new paved surface. They paved both corners and even paved kind of a weird point in where the when you come out of 2 and when you come out of 4, there's kind of like an extra paved strip. So they kind of call it like a launch strip with the pavement. They were saying that that whole new paved area is why the tires were shredding. It was the new pavement and the old pavement, when they would meet, the difference of traction would cause the tires to shred more. I don't know how the complete science. Look, I might be around NASCARs, not NASCARs, but race cars my whole life. But when it comes to NASCAR and this whole tire thing, getting a little weird. But it is what it is. So Ryan Blaney wins in Iowa over in the Cup Series. There was just the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. This week in the Truck Series had it off. Now, last episode I knew I said I wouldn't bring up the UFL, but I thought I would. Birmingham Stallions, they won the 2 USFL champions for the last 2 seasons before they merged with the XFL. They won the inaugural UFL championship, so they've won 3 consecutive championships in a row. The XFL championship winner last year, for the people that are wondering, over the 1 season of XFL football, was the Arlington Renegades, who didn't even make the playoffs this year. It was a battle between the Birmingham Stallions and the good old San Antonio Brahmas. That's a type of bull, for the people that don't know what a Brahma is. The final score was 25-0 in favor of the Birmingham Stallions. So that will do it for the UFL side of everything, the football side. There's not major football news. I know the Minnesota Vikings dropped icy whites a few days ago, so, they look pristine. There's not really a lot of football talk. I know in Illinois, is it Illinois? Yeah, Illinois University. They released new throwback helmets. They'll have the normal I, then it'll say Illinois, and then they have another one that is like ILL or something like that, the abbreviation for the state. They have weird throwback helmets for that university, Illinois University. Shout out I don't even know the nickname of that university, but it is what it is. Good for them. They will have throwback helmets for this upcoming college football season. Speaking of college football, the college football 25 game is coming out later in July. I believe July 8th, 16th is when it's out, nationwide and worldwide and all that fun stuff. That game, we've seen some more pictures out of it. It looks like it's going to be using the Madden engine, which, why wouldn't they be using that engine? It's the engine they've been developing on. I don't mind that. I also read that FCS schools will be added next year, not this year. No FCS schools, just FBS, for the people that don't know the difference between FBS and FCS. FBS stands for College Bowl Series. That's all the bowl games during college football season that you see. That's teams that participate in the football bowl series. And then you have FCS, which is Football Championship Series. That's kind of like lower T1 teams that literally play in a 16-team bracket for a championship. There's no bowl games involved. It's whoever is the higher seed is the home team, kind of like the NFL bracket. It's a little weird, a little different. You'd have to kind of look up and look at it. D2 and D3 also do it like that. So they split D1 because there's hundreds of D1 football programs out there. But that is pretty much the gist of the difference between that in college football. Now we're going to shift from football and this weird Houston Blue and this NASCAR news and this 24 hours of Le Mans news. We're going to jump to hockey. We got more news. For people that haven't watched my YouTube shorts, my TikToks, check them out. My YouTube shorts are literally down below. Check them out, or check out my TikToks, or literally my Instagram reels. Like everywhere I post on social media. Check out everything there. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's down below in the description. So for the people that don't know and didn't see the YouTube short, basically it's unique. So the NHL is in a unique situation. For the people that don't know, they're changing jersey manufacturers. The end of this year ended a 7-year run, I believe, with a 7 or 8 year run with Adidas. Before Adidas, there was Reebok. Now there's Adidas. Instead of renewing, Adidas literally said we will not renew. It's very unique. The 2 manufacturers that were battling were Nike and Fanatics. Nike's known for making football uniforms and baseball uniforms. Ironically, using the Fanatics factory, which is weird. And then Fanatics, their only actual jerseys that they make that's used for play, like actual competition, and not like fans, Fanatics, that's why they're named that, is the NLL, which is the National Lacrosse League. I believe Fanatics also makes like soccer team jerseys, but like I don't know what leagues. So if you know, tell me in the comments below where else they make actual competition jerseys and not just for the fans. But what I know here in the States is the NLL, which is the National Lacrosse League. That's indoor lacrosse. That's the only league I know that they actually wear Fanatics jerseys. I don't even know if that's still a thing. I just remember reading that like 2-3 years ago. So tell me in the comments below if you know exactly about the Fanatics jerseys and where they make it. But they won the NHL bid. They're going to be the jersey manufacturer for like 10, I think it was 10 years. So this upcoming season, the 24-25 season, Fanatics will be making the NHL jerseys on ice. So it's very unique to see what's going to happen here. And what's really interesting is they made an announcement to all the NHL teams that they announced quickly that they said, okay, listen, don't make any third jerseys. Keep your third jersey. You can't make a new third jersey. That's to all the NHL teams. The rule, there was a little bit of a loophole unless it's been talked to us years prior, because Fanatics apparently was going to be the jersey manufacturer a year or two ago. So it was in the talks 3 years ago. The Ducks, the Kings, they are going to get throwback. They're going to keep the Mighty Duck logo is coming back for the Ducks. The Kings are bringing back that Kings text logo. And then the Wild are keeping that third jersey that they had, that throwbacks to the Minnesota North Stars. That's going to be their new home, and they're going to bring back the Reverse Retro 1 white version of that, and that's going to be their away. Basically, there's going to be slight changes, but that's basically what it's going to be. The Ottawa Senators, apparently, they started talks right before Fanatics became the jersey manufacturer, so they will not have a new third jersey. They actually don't have a third jersey over in Ottawa, so they won't have a third jersey this upcoming season, the 24-25 season, but they will have a jersey in the 25-26, a third jersey. We also saw Utah HC, that's the new team. The people that don't know, the Arizona Coyotes relocated to Salt Lake City, Utah, and they will be called Utah HC this upcoming 24-25 season. They will have a actual nickname and actual identity in the 25-26 season. That's being voted on by the fans. So if you want to participate in that, look it up. There's 6 names left. Utah HC is actually one of them. I know Utah Yeti and Utah Blizzard and Utah Outlaws, Utah Venom, and Utah Mammoth. Those are the 6 names. Utah HC is part of one of those 6 names. So there's 6 names left. You have till the 20th to vote. So people that are listening to this pretty soon, that voting is being closed. So if you want to vote on it, it's closing very soon. So if you want to participate, go vote. I'll have to find the link. Maybe I can link it down below. Just look down in the description if I can. If I can't, just look it up and you'll find it. Anyone can participate and vote. So they will be called Utah HC for their inaugural year, and then they'll get their actual identity, which could be Utah HC if it's voted in. But Utah HC will be their name for 1 year, and they unveiled their home and away jersey. They'll have a home and away, no alternate, because they just 1 year of having that identity. And so there's a black and a white version because their colors are black, white, blue, and white. It's mountain black. Or I'm sorry, rock. Is it? Yeah, black rock. It's the volcanic rock color, known for the volcanic rock ash around Utah. And then there's mountain blue, and then there's salt white because it's the color of the salt flats in Utah. So those are the 3 colors. Let's see, with that black and then the white and blue trim, and the trim is different on the home and away. It's very unique. Look them up. What makes this unique is because this is the first time we see Fanatics blueprint, and it actually is a Adidas blueprint that's being used by Fanatics, but they tweaked it a little bit and kind of just twisted it to add their friends because they don't actually have blueprints of their jerseys. I mean, we're talking, these are so basic. The Utah jerseys are so basic because they had basically 60 days or something like that to make a jersey. Because of how close they are to the jersey line for making the actual play jerseys and so on and so forth. So we actually got to see it. We got to see the Fanatics tag. I would go in depth here. I'll probably actually end up making a TikTok / YouTube short / wherever you can find your short form content, horizontal videos. I'll probably make one this week about it. It's a unique thing to see. It's a unique blueprint, and I feel like Fanatics might be taking some things from Adidas. I just saying. But I don't know what else to say about that Utah side, but it is what it is. Well, getting out of Utah, getting out of that NHL world, other than the fact that the Stanley Cup Finals somehow still going on with a 3-1 lead for the Florida Panthers. They'll play Tuesday, and of course those Mavericks and Celtics will play Monday. Besides all that, and possibly seeing a Game 6, I do want to talk about that again. I wanted to bring that back because there's a statistic that I figured out. And I'm about to grab my phone here to make sure I have the right numbers and make sure. I'm going to go to my notes here. But here's the storyline, okay? So the series was a 3-0 series lead for the Florida Panthers and the Boston Celtics, respectively, in both the NBA and the NHL Finals. Now, here's some factoids. The NBA has never had a team come back in the finals ever in league history. The NHL has had one, and that team is the Florida Panthers, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I just messed that up so bad. The Toronto Maple Leafs. They did it I just looked it up. I think it's the 40s. My notes say 40s, but I'm not for sure. So tell me in the comments if I'm right. But they did it in the 40s or 50s, and I would look it up on Google, but at this point I don't even care. It's too late. So tell me in the comments if I'm right, and I'll probably actually in the description or in the comments I'll pin it and say, oh, you know what? In the comments I'll leave the actual true date, the actual, physical date that the Toronto Maple Leafs did this. They are the only team in NHL history to come back from a 3-0 deficit and win the Stanley Cup. There's no team in the NBA history. So here's the crazy fact. Hypothetically, if the Oilers and the Mavericks both come back from 3-0 deficits, it'll be the first time in sports history that both an NHL team and an NBA team in the same year come back from 3-0 series deficits and win their respective championships in the same year. That is a crazy factoid. That might happen. We're 2 wins away in both respective series over the NHL in the Stanley Cup Final and in the NBA Finals as well. Well, that will wrap up episode 2 of Bull Spittin' with Clarky. This one is completely a little bit shorter than last episode. Eventually, we'll have some guests on. Eventually, probably another episode or 2 before I let someone sneak out. I want my identity to kind of let you guys get to know me in a way in this podcast. So, that'll do it for me here on Bull Spittin' with Clarky, or Derik Clark, or whichever way I'm going to introduce myself on this podcast. For everyone at home, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much, and have a blessed day. Until next time, Derik Clark, a.k.a. Mini Doc. See you on the flip side, guys. Peace.